Today, I'm going to show you how to essentially create a 3D object or whatever it is that you want to create in Spline, and then how to essentially take what you've created and integrate it into Framer. It's useful because ever since we started learning Framer, we've always wanted to utilize or incorporate some 3D animation in our websites. And Spline makes it so easy so that you can create a 3D object and then animate it and just essentially copy the code and then embed your code into Framer. And that has essentially elevated the quality of work we can produce. Yeah, for those who are not familiar with Spline, so this is basically Spline. You can get like pre-created objects, and then there's tutorials that you can jump into. There's a couple of examples within the library that you can select and whatnot. But this is Spline, and then I'll show you Framer as well once we kind of jump into that. So the project that I'm going to be diving into is this. Something that we did as a design challenge, a 3D keyboard. So this is basically like all of this I had to create from scratch essentially, and also animate and whatnot. If I click play here, as you can see, this is like a fully functional 3D object with some slight animations. So what I'm gonna do is, when I want to export this for Framer, I will select the play settings, and depending on what type of interactions I want, I would essentially go through these settings. And with this one, I don't want the touch settings to be orbit disabled, pen disabled as well, page scrolling no, and then I just want like a slight hover effect on it. And what I'm gonna do from there is I will copy the code, and once I've done that, then we're gonna go to Framer, which is another tool that we use. So I've also like just created like a quick project here in Framer, as you can see. And then this is my embed block where I want to embed this object. And then as you can see on the right side here, you get to see embed, type of embed URL. Then I paste that URL that I copied from Spline. Yeah, as you can see, after I copied that code, it's basically embedded now on my website, and it should be, yes, it is, and I can play around with it. And yeah, and that's basically how Spline works with Framer.